I feel like as a child, for people that ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this or that. And they're like, okay, man, let's be realistic. You should get this career that'll get you these type of job opportunities.
That is such an interesting point, Noah, because you're right that parents should let their kids follow their passions.
Yes, they should follow their passions, not their parents' passions.
Their passions, not their parents' passions. Yeah.
Welcome to the Future of Education podcast, hosted by MacKenzie Price. MacKenzie is the founder of a revolutionary new school model that's disrupting education through AI. Join us as we discuss the latest in education innovation.
Today, I get to talk to a super famous YouTuber. Noah Boat and his best friend from elementary school have created an incredibly popular channel that's targeted at young men, basically helping them grow up to be positive contributors to society. Their YouTube channel is called Love, Live, Serve. And so, Noah Boat, I'm excited to have you. Thanks for coming on Future of Education.
I'm ready to talk about this. Thank you for bringing me.
You've got 8 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's correct.
And you built this with your best friend from childhood?
Yeah, it's amazing. Best friends to business partners and pretty much living our childhood dream. Because back in the day, there was only so many YouTubers. The world is saturated now, so like there's so many content creators, which is beautiful. But back then, there was just like a couple in our space and like the YouTubers that we looked up to, and we were just influenced, and we were like, I want to do this, and it just helped that I had somebody that wanted to make videos just as much as I did.
Yeah.
Because before we met each other, he just used his brother to like film him, and I would just use my sister to film her. So I always wanted to be behind the screen. He always wanted to be on the screen. So when we met, it was just perfect.
All of this because you guys were allowed to kind of follow your interests and your passions.
Yes. Yeah. I think YouTube was just great because we'd come home from school, be able to just watch stuff that we liked, and we're like, oh, we want to do this. And it was really just us behind the scenes figuring it out on our own. So I didn't have any like multimedia film creativity classes. Let's explore these passions in school. So it was pretty much just all the time on my own, just working on my craft. But
how was your school experience?
It was cool. I like school a lot. I think I'm very bad at just like traditional tests. So a lot of stuff felt like memorizing information and then just regurgitating it for a test and then deleting it from my head and then moving on to the next.
And that's kind of the design of traditional school, right? Is like get the information out on paper and then it's over.
Correct. And a lot of the stuff is just, you're just really just in the class the whole day. And I didn't really feel like I had any workshops or times to like work on any skill sets that could help me. Because I know a lot of people that graduate don't even have the skill sets required to maybe do some certain jobs. And I feel like if school would let us explore more of our passions and the value in creativity, because I feel like as a child, it's very acceptable to be like, for people that ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this or that. They're like, yes, that's going to be you one day. And then you get a little bit older and now you say, I want to be a writer. I want to be a YouTuber. And they're like, okay, man, let's be realistic. You should probably get a job that'll get you these type. You should get this career that'll get you these type of job opportunities.
That is such an interesting point, Noah. So what you're saying is that parents should let their kids follow their passion.
Yes, they should follow their passions, not their parents' passions.
When kids are little, it's like you can be anything you want, and then pretty quickly it's like, hey, let's think about like let's be realistic. You know, you should become an accountant or
Correct.
Get your tech degree or whatever it is.
And imagine there was some type of class where it was something about being an astronaut or a little bit more hands-on stuff, and you could work and design and explore that a little bit more, because I feel like there's so many details that we learn in school that we may not need to know all of them. Yeah. And it's just, there's a lot.
So, one of the things we do in our middle school, because middle school, you remember how middle school is? And
I did.
It's rough,
nerve-wracking
right?
for me,
It's rough. It's a rough time. It's rough for boys. It's tough for girls across the board. One of the things we do at the beginning of our school year for middle school students is we do this Ikigai workshop. Have you ever heard of that?
Ikigai?
Ikigai. It's a Japanese kind of value priority setting experience. And so what we do is we ask our students to like sit down and really think like, what are your priorities? What do you care about? who do you want to become?
Wow.
And what's that vision for getting there? And, I think in a traditional world, middle school is this like awkward time where you start forming cliques and you start saying like, you're cool or you're not, or, it can become really a toxic, social environment. And what we try to do is we take these kids and we say like, let's think about like, what is that North Star that you want to do?
Wow.
And then we have them look at, well, how are you actually spending your time? There's 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
And so we have them map out how they spend that 168 hours.
Wow.
And that actually helps kids go like, well, gosh, I say I want to do this, and yet I'm like doom scrolling TikTok for, half of my time or whatever.
3 hours
and then
go by,
what could we do with that time? How could we go and create, build, do something that gets us further on that journey? And I think that's an important thing to do. Do you feel like you had that kind of support to say you can be whatever you want when you were younger?
Yeah, I feel like everything that I dabbled in, whether it was from 5 to 10, and then after 10, it was just I wanted to be like a video creator in some sort. My parents just let me do everything. So at one point I wanted to be an architect, and I would just like cut up cardboard boxes and try to build like a house and stuff. And my parents just let me do that. And then at one point I thought I wanted to be a professional soccer player. So I would get to be in every soccer sport I wanted to go to. And then, when I was just making the videos, I was like, do we have a camera around the house? Because there's this guy that gets to post videos himself. I want to do stuff like this. And my parents just dusted off some camera, gave it to me, and they just let me run wild with it. And nobody pushed me to do something, but then nobody ever tried to stop me from doing something. It wasn't until maybe I got to college and I started making some money off YouTube. And my grandma, when I was trying to explain it, she was just like, I watch YouTube for free. Like, how does that even make any sense? And even as of like 2 weeks ago, she's like, are you ever coming back to the East Coast? Like, is that a hobby thing? Like, are you done doing that? And I'm like, it's not a hobby. But I think it was great that, and both my parents work for the government. So like, I'm surprised they didn't want me to just follow in their steps. They really just let me do whatever I wanted. And then if at one point I wanted to build a backyard roller coaster in my backyard because I saw YouTube videos of guys building stuff. So I'd go to Lowe's and my dad would buy me some things, and I would just be making the most makeshift, probably dangerous. But my dad's like, he wants to do this, let him do it. So I had a great support system.
So Noah, as a super famous YouTuber, this might be a loaded question. Do you think that the work you've been doing on YouTube has kept you out of trouble or gotten you into trouble?
That's great. I would say 100% has kept me out of trouble. Because once there's something that you're working on and you get good at it, you're just like an artist. Like if I want to just paint all day, you're just kind of locked in and want to just make the next best creation. So every day knowing I have this camera, I have these ideas with my friend or myself, I have this like blank canvas that I can just get better at. And had I not started at 10, where I'm just lucky that I had something that's just sparked in my head, like I want to do this, and I got to work on it. By the time I was like 18 and in college, I was like, this is all I want to do. And I had done so many bad videos or amateur style videos that now I'm learning a little bit more in film school, and now I just got to really hone in on my craft. So 100% kept me out of trouble. And I think if everybody got to explore something they're really passionate about without feeling forced to. I know people that are like really good singers, but their parents made them perform at every wedding or event, or you need to go on this show and that, or you need to start doing this. And I think they had such a beautiful talent, and they just felt like it was forced on them. So luckily, I think it comes to everybody, and I just wish that there were so many options on my plate that, like you said, if the school were to tell me, let's explore how you're using your time, what are you interested in? I wonder if there was many other things that could have sparked my mind too.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, and I think that's one of the big things is, we fundamentally believe that kids are limitless.
Absolutely.
And it's our job to provide an environment, build an environment that helps them unlock their potential. And part of that is allowing them to try lots of different things and be able to try something on like, oh, I think I'm interested in this. Let me go try to become an expert in it. Oh, I'm not interested. Let me try something else.
Exactly.
And let me get the skills. And that's one of the things that our guides do is they come around and they're like, hey, what's that thing that you're into, and how can we help you support? Or how can we help make that more of a reality? And I think that is a great thing to do. How were you able to manage, because school's busy, and were you a good student?
I was. My older sister was very book smart, so I felt like I had to kind of.
Oh, you had that older sister you had to live up to, huh?
But at the same time, she was kind of like the guinea pig, so like they were the hardest on her, and then got a little bit less for me and then my other sister. But me, I also felt like, yeah, I need to pay attention. My parents are very like, everything must be in order. So I would take notes for everything, and I would block out when I come home. Yeah, I have to study, do this, then I can go do my work. But I was also bad at every day, even on my off time, I was worried about the next day of school of what I have to do for learning and doing homework. And I was very anal about getting everything done, like 1 to 10, and then go play. But so I think that home thing helped out a lot. And yeah, I definitely followed everything I was supposed to do in school. And even in high school, I had perfect attendance. And I remember I was the only person when they like gave some award for that. My friends were like laughing at me, and they're like, "You ain't missed one day of school." And I was like, I felt like I couldn't, because I felt like if I missed a day, I'd fall behind. So yeah, I think a lot of pressure on my parents and my older sister. I just felt like, yeah, I had to do good. And I'm sure I made them proud by paying attention.
So Noah, what do you think the future of education should look like?
Wow, yeah. I think the future of education, I feel like there's so much nuance to it, but I think there needs to be some type of option where there's just more ways to build skill sets in school versus just like digesting information, learning, and moving on. Something where the stuff that you guys are already doing, where people get to explore things that they're excited about, and there's a lot of hands-on stuff to see if you like it or not. So yeah, anything where there's just more value in every child's early adolescents, if they're lucky to have a school that helps them by the time they get there, that can just show the value in their creativity. And everybody's creative, and I think it just takes a couple things for them to kind of find out. So yeah, I just think if a lot of people had more skill sets outside of just book smart, then that can go a long way for applying that to other things.
Yeah. So your YouTube channel, your primary audience is young boys, right?
Yeah, it's like 90% male demographic, high school to like college age men.
What is, you think, the message that you're really trying to get across? If a person who's a fan of yours follows you, like, what is the message you want them to absorb?
I think for the viewers and the people that watch my stuff, I think just being a very disciplined but putting yourself out there type of person, and the cliche, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And really, if there's something that you like, go after it early on. And a lot of our viewers consider me, my partner, as like older brothers. They're like, you're the older brothers we didn't have. So I don't know, we're very relatable, and I feel like a lot of our content can kind of help you navigate things through certain part of your life, whether it's with dating or trying to better yourself. And yeah, I think just trying to strive to be the best person that you can be is kind of what you get from watching.
You're trying to help kind of raise that next generation of young men. I love that, Noah. Good job.
Thank you.
So toxic masculinity is something we hear a lot about in our culture. And as a super famous YouTuber, and I run schools, I hear about this. What is the message around that you think boys should know?
I think it's hard when there's just so many sides to people's different truths. So people are seeing one person saying that this is how you need to act as a guy, or you need to be alpha, or you need to treat people this way. But then there's the other side where it's, you don't need to do all that. You need to be like this, be like that. There's like a middle ground to everything. And I just think people shouldn't be completely swayed just based off one person's idea from how they tell you that should be. So I think, I don't know, there's a fine line. Like it's always good to just be a good person, but it can be very difficult when this person that's very popular is telling you to act one way. And it's hard when everybody's telling you, as a guy, you need to always work, you can't relax, you can't take a break. But we're all humans. There's a button you can push on all of us where we'll explode. You can only bottle up so much stuff before, you need to blow your steam. And I think it's important for guys and everybody that you need to find some balance to where you can breathe and enjoy some isolation to yourself when you have so many things to worry about. Yeah.
So if you have this super famous YouTube show with you and your best friend from growing up. If I got to make a guest appearance on your YouTube, what character would I play? What would I do?
We'd probably do like a Types of Moms skit. So
Types of Moms?
Yeah.
Okay, what type of mom do you think I am?
The the coolest mom that probably makes the best snacks at halftime or something. That'd probably be you. I could see you just coming in. Everybody's like, yes, she's here again. Like
I am a cool mom, but I'm really bad at cooking. So hopefully my snack game could get better. But
okay,
yes.
cool.
Okay, well, that's cool. Well, I would love to be on your YouTube channel. So
Let's
yes,
make it happen.
Yes, I will be there. And sorry, the name of the YouTube channel again?
Love, Live, Serve.
Love, Live, Serve. That wraps up this episode of Future of Education. Thanks to Noah for coming on this podcast. It's really cool to hear what Noah is doing in terms of pouring into young men in our society, and he has a lot of fun doing it too. If you want to hear more podcasts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, or follow me on Instagram or YouTube, Future of Education. That's all for now, but until next time, remember, kids are limitless, and it's our job to help unlock their potential.
Thanks for listening to MacKenzie Price and the Future of Education podcast. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is the time to do it so you can stay up to date on all our episodes. You can connect with MacKenzie on social media and be part of our daily conversation over on Instagram at futureof_education. For more info about the show and our guests, you can always visit futureofeducationpod.com. Lastly, if you're loving what you're learning, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts.